angle right? Do I even? Okay, I didn't set up anything. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. As always, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for clicking this video, for choosing Just JP to watch. Today we're going to be listening to Marillion with their song Ocean Cloud. This is off their album Marbles, which was released in 2004. Okay, so last time, regarding Marillion, we had listened to Grendel, which is a very interesting song. A little bit of a Supper's Ready, I don't want to say copycat, but, you know, it was kind of like Supper's Ready. So, a lot of you guys had mentioned this song as one that would perhaps show a little bit more of their distinctive personalities and a little bit more of their character. And we've listened to the first track off of this album, which is The Invisible Man, and that's a pretty good song. So naturally, you guys want Marillion. I'd like to listen to a little bit more Marillion, so here we are today. I wish that I had a shirt that was like beachy or oceany, and surprisingly, for someone who lives in Florida, I ain't got one. I looked through my closet trying to find something like that could kind of relate to the song, but I kind of gave up in the end and just chose one of my own shirts, of which you can purchase if you're interested. Also, someone had messaged me on Reddit, and they had created a Just JP Reddit subreddit. So if you're interested, you can also go down there. I'll put a link in the description below. I thought that was kind of cool. It's kind of a nice surprise, to be honest. I didn't think I was that interesting to warrant a subreddit, but lo and behold, here we are. So thank you for that. Let's get into it. It's Long Song Saturday. If it is Saturday in which you're watching, hope that it's going to be a good Saturday. Hopefully the music lifts your spirits a little bit. And tell you what, if it's any other day besides Saturday that you're watching this, hope the music lifts your spirits just the same way as if it was Saturday. Hey, let's get into the music. This is, I almost said this is Marbles. This is Ocean Cloud, performed by Marillion. Here we go.
You've seen too much of life, and there's no going back. There's a fighter in his heart, and his body's tough. The years have been unkind, kind enough. The smell of the earth, it's his favorite smell, but he's somehow compelled to the stinging salt air, to the place where he hurts, and he's scared. And there's no one to tell, and no one who doesn't listen. You can take all the boys and the girls in the world, and I'll trade them this morning for my sweet ocean cloud. I've seen too much
seawater, pints of seawater, put fish blood in. I turned over 3 times, and twice was at night, one early in the morning, and it's not very funny at night, pitch black, but it's like on the 50th day, there was a storm, and it was windy and rainy, and all of a sudden, the wind and rain cut out. I sort of half turned, and I saw this just black wall of water.
He remembers the day he was marched to the front by the physical knucklehead teacher of games. Look, lads, he declared, this boy's a creeper. No guts and no muscles, no spine and no stuffing. The whole schoolroom sniggered and silently thanked God it wasn't there. Time is revenge, all the bullies grow weak. Must live with faithless women who despise them. I'll be in Barbados in a couple of weeks, with a rum on the table and yarns by the yard. A story to tell and a story to save. Unless she changes her mind, I'll trade them this morning for my sweet ocean cloud. I've seen too much of life, so the sea is my wife, and the sweet ocean clouds will look down on my boat tonight. The wind changes. between two planets in the black daylight of space, between two heavenly bodies, thin-fisted ripping out the radio. I want to be alone. You can take all the boys and the girls in the world. I wouldn't trade them this morning for my sweet ocean cloud. I've seen too much of life, so the sea is my wife. The sweet ocean cloud is a mistress and a lot. I've seen too much of life, so the sea is my wife. The sweet ocean clouds will look down on my bones
Okay. Let me know what you guys thought, first of all, in the comments. What I'm going to do really quick, I'm just going to slightly adjust my fan. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you think while I do that. I'm just going to turn it a little bit that way. Okay. Just slightly angled. Ocean Cloud by Marillion. Where to begin? Where to begin? Can I tell you? The song throughout its runtime was already like up here, right? But the moment, first of all, I kind of got a double hitter. The moment he said the invisible man immediately brings me back to the track, the first track off the album, The Invisible Man. Is there some sort of correlation? Okay, we're gonna have to look into that later. But the line right after, ripping out the radio, I want to be alone. Chilling. Like, no doubt. Skin, goosebumps. Heart, racing. Like, the way that it was delivered, that hushed, quiet tone, a tone of not giving up, even though it may sound like giving up. This was toned with purpose, with resolution, direct. Ripping out the radio, I want to be alone. That is the most powerful line in this song, and there's a lot of great writing here. But those lines and the music, like I'm I'm slightly shaking just a little bit because of that. And then the way that the whole song ends, the way the lyrics change at the end when he says, "And the sweet clouds, or the sweet ocean clouds, will look down on my bones tonight." Whereas every single time before, it was "look down on my boat tonight." There's a story. Oh, this is good. This intense, passion-filled vocal performance. Killer vocal performance. A performance of tidal and oceanic proportions. And the music really fits in the same way and flows the same way. I mean, it goes from tidal waves just crashing. You can feel a boat being tossed around like nothing. Like it's weightless, being tossed around in the tumultuous ocean. Pure turmoil. And then at other times, the eternal and endless peace at the sea. The serenity in the calm and gentle waves, almost as if rocking you back to the womb. They brought it all in here, okay? I'm going to say something, and it's going to sound like an extremely outrageous statement. But I just want you to bear with me as I work our way through it, okay? Not necessarily musically, but perhaps group dynamic wise. And this is just based off me listening to this song, so I don't know actual behind the scenes with the band and their relationship. But let me just tell you. I kind of got a similar feel to Pink Floyd. And I know, right now you're thinking this does not sound anything like Pink Floyd. I agree, but hear me out, okay? I feel like there was some sort of weird connection between the members of Pink Floyd and the members here. And what I mean by that is that the way that Pink Floyd, and I'm going to talk about each of the specific members, play their instruments reminds me of the way that the instruments are played here. For example, let me pull up the member list so I give appropriate credit where credit is definitely due. Steve Rothery, guitar. Okay. Let's take it back to what I'm talking about, Pink Floyd. Gilmour plays with a certain amount of passion and feel that sometimes the notes themselves may be simple, but it's the way that he plays with a certain feeling that you cannot capture unless you have it. What is it? I don't know. Ask Genesis. They know what it is. Okay? But Rothery here plays with it. He plays with that same feeling. When it's emotional, he hits you with those emotional notes and chords. The way that he plays, absolutely stunningly beautiful. Then, you talk about keyboards, pianos. Listen to the way that Mark Kelly provides so much detail, so much background throughout Ocean Cloud. He is, in a sense, this is not meant to take away from anyone else because we're going to go through everybody. But he's almost like the person who actually transports you to the setting of the ocean. With all the work that he's putting in, atmosphere work, he's the one that sets the tone and kind of brings to mind the title of the track, Ocean Cloud. He's the one that takes you there. He's the boatman. Call him what's the Greek guy, the boatman? Sharon. Okay, Mark Kelly is Sharon. Okay, let's go down the list. Steve Hogarth. Man, what a vocal range! What a range! What a performance! At some points, absolutely bone chilling, like the end. I mean, I'm still thinking about that moment. I want to talk about that moment so much, but I guess what else is there to say except it's just a bone chilling moment that really sends this song to big heights. But his performance is tender. He gets the emotions across correctly. And just on a surface look of the lyrics, and I really enjoy the lyrics, but just on a surface look, it's someone who only finds comfort with the ocean. Who can't quite relate to people. But he finds his comfort in the ocean to the point that he says it's his wife. He's married to the sea. Sounds like a crazy person. It's not. It's not a crazy person. It's just someone who finds a certain attachment in a certain thing, you know, and in detachment where perhaps others would find attachment. Now, the way that Steve is portraying this character, portraying this mindset. It's a thin line, and you got to hold the pole, and you're balancing while you're walking on the line, because you could end up really cheesy. You could end up really like, what's the word, like crass, and that's not the exact way I want to say it, but you could end up writing it sloppily. You know, the concept just doesn't sound right, doesn't feel right, it's not respectfully done. Now, Hogarth, he, with respect, with gravitas, with passion, with impact, making you feel for this character. That's a great way of actually putting it. I just thought about it. That's what I mean. Hogarth makes you feel for the person he's singing about. And that is hard to do. To make the audience, the listener, connect not only with what you're singing, but of this fictional, perhaps not exactly fictional, character. You know, I'm sure that we all can relate to this person who finds themselves, their piece, in something that maybe no one else quite understands or quite gets. He carries that. He carries that with dignity. Okay? Ian Mosley on the drums. We're going to relate this to Mason from Pink Floyd. Mason may not be the most flashy drummer, but once again, he plays with a certain style that it fits so well with Pink Floyd and what they do, and once again, it's the feeling in it. Okay? Ian Mosley, his playing is, to me, very cinematic, very orchestrated in the way that he impacts and makes those big moments come to life. He really puts the weight behind those moments. You know, when the tidal waves throughout the song are crashing and thrashing about and we feel helpless, it's in big part due to Mosley's drumming and the way that he spins us around, takes us on this swirling symphony in the sea. Beautifully done, especially with the crashes and the cymbals, you know, emulating waves in certain moments. Very well done. And providing a lot of atmosphere. For example, in a lot of the moments when he's playing like on the toms. Some of the playing also between drums and bass reminded me of Tool a little bit, some of the music there. And that's going to be my segue. Talking about the bass with Pete Trewavas. Pete, he is the motion of the ocean. Is that? I think you know what I meant. He puts the motion of the ocean. He has the potion to make you move. When the waves are crashing, he's pulling you up and dropping you down, letting the inertia and the gravity do its work to you. And then once again, when we're coming back to Serenity Seas, he's just pulling the tugboat along with rhythmic dance and wonderful cadence and just great rhythms all around. Did I talk about everyone? I think I talked about everyone. I wanted to make sure I really give credit because I really feel like this is a very complete piece of music. It's an epic. It tells a great story, and the music carries everything along so well, but it also makes you feel. Once again, it makes you connect to the music. That's a very, very, very hard thing to do because you can connect with music like on the surface level, but it's harder to get it like to the second level, even harder to get it to that third level. Now, to me, if I'm trying to break that down, the first level is just liking the music. Forget a bigger connection than that. It's just a shallow, I like this song, it feels good. Okay. The second level is you're digging just a little deeper. Maybe the lyrics start to mean something to you. The music makes you feel something right here. You know, it just goes a little further. That's like when it's like a favorite, you want to put it on a playlist, that kind of thing. Or on an album listen, you just always keep coming back to it, you put it on repeat. That third level is when it can be life-changing. It can alter your perception of music you hear from then on. I feel like this is a song that could easily hit all three levels, depending on who's listening to it. And you could say, well, JP, duh, any song can hit any person on all three levels. It just depends on the person. Everybody likes something. That's true to a certain extent. But I feel like with this type of music, with progressive rock, and for people who are minded towards progressive rock, this particular track can hit all three of those levels with a little bit more of a hit rate. A little bit more accuracy, for lack of a better word, just because of the songwriting elements in here. Let's pull up a few moments in here that I thought were really great. Of course, throughout you have moments and sound effects that make you feel like you're in the ocean, but it's also the musicianship behind that. Musicianship, ocean cloud. Can't believe I just said that. That makes you feel like you're on the open seas. You know, just this empty open sea right here. Great way to open you up, to bring you in. Both the lyrics at this point, because the lyrics and the music being played at the same time is always very important. You know. So from this point, we're taking a third-person point of view, because later on we'll get into first person. So this is someone talking about the character. He's saying he's seen too much life, or too much of life, and there's no going back. The loneliness calls him, and the edge, which must be sharpened, he's losing it, and he knows. But there's a fighter in his mind, and his body's tough. The years have been unkind, but kind enough. I like that. Just a little bit of a silver lining. A little bit of grace, okay? So the music here is perfectly reflective of that. Shimmering like light on the ocean guitars. A little buzzy synth in the back. Calm singing. Drums played with just a little pulse. Just a little pulse. And then here, when the beat comes in, he says the smell of the earth, it's his favorite smell. But he's somehow compelled to the stinging salt hell. We are getting so much character development in such a short amount of time. When you watch a TV show or a movie, they have a certain amount of time. Think about how hard it is to make a movie, to make an episode of a show, to make you connect with a character in such a short amount of time. They have to make you like feel, right? And that's what I'm talking about, like this connection we have with this person. The smell of the earth is his favorite smell, but for whatever reason, he's compelled to return to the sea. And it says that it's a stinging salt hell. Why does he feel the need to go back to that place, apparently of pain? Or a place that perhaps can cause pain. You know, the sea spray, it has salt, and I mean, I don't know, I'm not really a beach or an ocean guy, but it's stinging, right? But it says, to the place where he hurts and he's scared. And there's no one to tell, and no one who doesn't listen. There's no one to tell, so there's no one for him to share his feelings with. And no one who doesn't listen. Isn't that a double negative? So, like I said, I think that we're getting connection with this character. We're definitely getting a peek into his mindset. Of course, it's up to you and who you are and where you are in your life if you connect with different things, you know? But that goes kind of without saying. Let's skip ahead a little bit. And what a chorus this is. Tremendously sung. Love that synth line that's constantly rising in the back. And let me just bring it down. At this moment, he is singing with such resolve. He would trade everything in the world just to get back to his sweet ocean cloud. To get back to the ocean. Listen to how it changes into like tidal waves here. Listen to the storms. And listen to all of the pitch bending that's going on. Especially throughout this section, but even in the peaceful sections. Oh, hold on. Listen to the vocal resolve. Hold on. That's a performance. Okay? That's good. One of those elements that I really like here is like, for example, like what I was just talking about, the notes pitching up and rising down, kind of like an ocean, right? In here, incredibly distressful at this particular portion. However, take it back to the calmer moments. The same thing's done. If you listen, the same thing is done, the pitching up, the winding down, but this time, once again, it's peaceful. It's inspirational, it's chill. So it's just really cool how the same techniques can be used in two different places and can have complete different effects on the mood of the music.
That's good songwriting.
Okay, and at this point, we have kind of a calm little reprieve where it's just like calm ocean waves. It's really interesting. Once again, this down tuning. Kind of sounds very big, very melodic and abstract. And then we get some vocal samples here. And I was trying to listen to like what they were saying, And it's definitely describing someone's voyage. It's definitely describing someone making some sort of trip.
114 days later. On the return leg, he started out from Newfoundland and
Now,
reached shore last.
I did look up really quickly what that is about, because I was trying to listen really hard to like what they were saying, because the lines weren't put in the lyric sheet that I was looking at here online. So I was like, who are they talking about? It must be some sort of true story, right? If you're going to include stuff like that. So I was looking it up really quick here, and it seems that this whole song is inspired and dedicated to Don Allum and the Ocean Rowers. And I guess the band even included a link to his sea diary, and they included the actual samples of him talking about the experience here. Now, you may ask, who is Don Allum? Because I don't know, and I don't know if you know. But Wikipedia says that Don Edward Allum was a British oarsman, the first person to row across the Atlantic Ocean in both directions. He went back and forth across the ocean. That is intense, and I'm actually really curious to read a little bit about him, because I'm just like sampling a little bit of his right up here in Wikipedia, and it's really, really interesting to see like the water that was packed for them, and like what what they had to make this journey. One of his crossings almost even ended in disaster, and it took 77 days. Wow. That's wow. And wow, he endured a lot. Like, this is an interesting read. Like, if you're interested, look up Don Allum, because it's just interesting to read a little bit what I've read of him in this just short amount of time. But okay, so I can understand now the correlation between this big ocean journey. Oh, and now that he says that, here in the lyrics, at one point he says, between two planets, in between the points of light, between two distant shorelines, here am I. So initially I just took that as, well, yeah, if you're in the ocean, you're between two distant shorelines. I mean, duh. I didn't really think much of it. But now with understanding where the story comes from, between two distant shorelines, yeah, distant because it's like continents apart and you're crossing the Atlantic. It all comes together. Sometimes you just got to do a little bit of research, you know? That's really cool. See, before they get into this heavy section, the sampler right before was, I would assume, Don, talking about this storm that was coming. So now Marillion is going to take it upon their creative selves and play this storm. So at this point, he's kind of musing to himself and describing his sights as he's in this journey. The storm is about to approach. But doesn't this just make you feel like you're on the voyage with him? And seeing the sights, which I guess is really just kind of open water. But I think that Marillion appropriately put you on the boat with them as they've taken you on this distant voyage. And this was the section that for some reason I was thinking of Tool. Maybe it's just the intensity of it all. And that drumming. I mean, it's not a bad comparison. But I mean, the storm is, is rolling, Okay. And then previously in the lyrics, he was talking about being bullied, and it sounds like he was almost trying to prove to others who he was, even though their lives didn't necessarily go in the perhaps path that they had expected. He talks about faithless wives and stuff like that they've married and stuff. He wanted to prove to himself. He wanted to prove to others, to prove himself. And I think that's something that a lot of us can relate to, proving yourself to someone, to people that put you down, that say you're nothing. I mean, in the lines here, it says, let me see, that the bullies were saying, this boy's a cream puff. Cream puffs are kind of tasty. Actually, I really don't like cream puffs. No guts and no muscles, no spine and no stuffing. The whole screw room sniggered and silently thanked God it wasn't them. But then he talks about like how he's going to show them, basically. He's going to live in Barbados in a few weeks. He's going to drink rum at the tables, and he's going to be living the life. So I just really like that as well. Once again, character development. But it's in this section where it gets really heavy that I really like some of the lines here, especially one of them. He says, watch me, paint this picture, stretching, hurting, cursing, watch me, taking it, watch me, God above. He wants everybody to watch him, all eyes on me. I'm going to prove it right here, right now, in the middle of this storm. I'm going to prove it to the bullies who told me I couldn't do it. I'm going to prove it to God. I'm going to prove everybody who I am. And listen to the intensity of this section with that emotion in mind. Like you feel it, once again, that resolve. Hold on, wait till it comes in, wait till it comes in. Hold on. Standing in the ocean alone. On the boat. Yelling at the sky. Dark clouds surrounding. Hurting and cursing. I'm like his hype man. Listen. Hit it. Show them all. You feel this. The bass change. Ooh. Ooh, he let it all out, put it all on the table. Character development. My voice cracked when I said that. But then we get to this.
Ripping out the radio. I want to be alone.
Can I tell you? That moment there, that moment there, to me, has nearly the same impact, pure impact, as Fly on a Windshield by Genesis. Just telling you what I feel. Just telling you what I think. And the lyrics there. When he's once again talking about being between two planets in the black daylight of space. Now, when he says that, before he's talking about being between two shores, I get that. Then he talks about being between two planets. You could take that as like being between the Earth and, you know, another planet in space, or even if you want to say the moon, you know, even though the moon's not technically a planet, but, you know, you could be between two heavenly bodies, the Earth, because you're on the Earth, and then the moon. I understand that. What I also think it is, especially because of the last line where he says that the ocean clouds will now look upon his bones because he dies in this voyage, I think that it's also about him passing between life and death. In both respects. Between two heavenly bodies, between the earth and going to heaven, I would ascend. Or I would assume, rather. And also, once again, bringing the boatman back. Being between two shores. The shore at the river Styx, going to the underworld, the other shore. Right? Oh, man. I don't even know what else to say about this song. I think I went all out on this one. I think I covered pretty much all the bases I want covered. Speaking of bases, it's an absolute home run. Great lyrics, fantastic musicianship. Just kind of everything you would want, you know? But of course, and as always, I really would love to know, what did you guys think of this track? Is this one of their best, highly regarded epics? Is this one that you're in love with? Is this an okay song to you? Did you feel like it had a decent amount of highs, but the rest of it was kind of okay? Whatever it is, let me know your thoughts. I won't come at you. I don't know if anyone else will come at you, but you know, I'm around. I won't judge you, you know. But definitely let me know what you guys thought of the song. I would love to read that in the comments. And if it's your first time here, hope that you come back tomorrow. Hope that you enjoyed the video. If it's not your first time here, maybe it's your 7th, maybe it's your 700th. But regardless, I hope that you enjoyed your time here as well. Definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments. You can follow me on Twitter if you like. Don't forget, there's a subreddit now if you'd like to hop on over there. I take a peek every once in a while. You can also support the channel on Patreon. Buy a shirt. You could do so much. You could do absolutely so much, but I hope that you did enjoy your past few minutes here. Hope you come back tomorrow for whatever else we got going on. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Great song. Bye.